And without further ado, before we get to all the crazy stuff, I got to talk about Living Single. So y'all already know I love me some Living Single. Living Single is like one of my all-time favorite sitcoms from the 90s. And I actually, as y'all know, for those of you who've been watching the show, I have been doing a rewatch. So I'm currently on season 2. And Living Single is like comfort food and stuff for me. It's kind of like, where everybody goes and there's some of y'all homosexuals like watching the Golden Girls and things of that nature. Well, Chris loves his Living Single. Just like, and so how some of you white folks love Friends, which, quiet as it's kept, Living Single is what Friends thought it was going to be. But because it's a bunch of white people and it was on a network and they'll get pushed further than Living Single, which I always thought was the funnier show. But nevertheless, Erika Alexander and Kim Coles announced, and I think they also went on a couple of talk shows too. I think they went on The Breakfast Club. I didn't see that one, but I heard about it. And then they went on Sherry Shepherd, which I didn't watch that one either because Sherry Shepherd is insufferable to me. I can't with her; she irritates my entire spirit. But but kudos to her for her show and what she does. I know people. My mother loves her. It's funny how my mother could not take Wendy Williams, but she loves Sherry Shepherd. I'm like, okay, whatever, girl. But I was more or less because my stuff falls on the further side of being shady and funny and all that other mess. I ain't got time for the fake Miss America, trying to be, playing like you're nice on TV, but then behind the scenes, well, I don't know if she is for sure, but it gives me fake and phony when it comes to Sherry. But anyway, so they went on these shows and announced that they are doing a podcast, which they're going to do a rewatch podcast, and it is called none other than Reliving Single. So we are reliving, hey, single, ooh, in a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I found my girl. Keep your head up. What? Keep your head up. That's right. You know that song. That was my shit. Like, I just love that song. Shout out to Queen Latifah, whose sidebar, I was sad to hear that they canceled your show, The Equalizer, after 5 seasons. So it's funny how they canceled The Equalizer, but now we're getting a rewatch of Living Single, which is great. And I'm going to be cute if she shows up, but she said she got other things in the works. So shout out to Queen Latifah. So now Heartbeat, which is Kevin Hart's multi-platform entertainment company, just announced a nostalgic show coming to the airwaves hosted by Living Single stars Erika Alexander and Kim Coles. Dubbed the Ultimate Rewatch series, Reliving Single will see the duo deep dive into episodes and moments from the hit 90s series, saying, quote, "We've seen the massive impact that Living Single has had on the culture," and the culture is in caps, as in capital letters, the T and the C in the culture. And this is stating Eric Eddings, SVP of Digital and Platforms at Heartbeat. "It's one of those shows that inspired legions of journalists, lawyers, and changed the narrative of what it meant to be a Black woman in 90s America. Reliving Single will highlight the intentional effort made by the cast and crew, many of whom we've never heard from before, and who better to guide us through this journey than Erika and Kim." And funny enough, this is what I loved about growing up in the 90s and seeing a lot of 90s sitcoms. To me, it was just so much like the celebration of Black excellence. And that's what I loved about Fox in the beginning, until they used us like a lot of these networks do, until they get a little, they lay some ground and they gain some traction. And then all of a sudden, when they've gained an audience, then you want to push all the Black shows out. Because remember, at the time, it was Living Single, it was In Living Color, it was Martin, and also, even though it don't get its flowers and it should, and even though it doesn't get the flowers that it should, New York Undercover. That first season, and then I think they started meddling in throughout the show and stuff. That first season was so pro-Black. It was just like the Black excellence and the Latino excellence that was in that show and the pride. That's why I loved it. And I was lucky enough to be able to go and be on set of New York Undercover when I was growing up in the 90s, because my teacher, Copper Cunningham, who was an actress, who knew some people that was on the show, and me and a couple of my classmates actually got to go hang out with the cast and stuff. And that's where I met Michael Imperioli, who automatically recognized. He said, "You was in Taxi Driver." My teacher was. So he recognized, but because a lot of Italians, they love like anything Scorsese and things of that nature. And whatever Robert De Niro was in, or Al Pacino was in, it was just sort of like that that, you know, everybody, if you was Italian or black, whatever, y'all was watching the movies back in the day. So I just love the fact that we have this coming, because I've always thought about, like, yeah, well, how come we're getting all these other shows like Boy Meets World and these other shows have rewatch parties and or rewatch podcasts, and people sit back and watch old episodes and break and reminisce and break it down. So now we actually have um Living Single doing it. So now Alexander, who's an actress, writer, producer, activist, said that Reliving Single is a multi-generational conversation that remains evergreen because of the love our fans have for us and the show, and they want more. Kim and I, like a pair of vampires, ain't aged a day, as Coles added. Getting to relive Living Single with Erika and with all of you feels like opening a time capsule packed with love, laughter, and a little extra lip gloss. I can't wait to spill the tea, share the joy, and celebrate the magic that made us all family. And so um I was like, wait, what happened to my picture? Thank you. Let's put up the whole cast. So now Alexander and Coles are gearing up to take diehard fans behind the scenes with stories, unforgettable moments, and unearth details of episodes that viewers have long pondered on. Fans can also look forward to surprise guest appearances and exclusive insights from the stars themselves. And so if you are interested in checking out Reliving Single, it will drop weekly starting on Wednesday. That's this Wednesday, May 7th, on the Reliving Single YouTube channel, which when I found out about this, I automatically subscribed over there. And if you are interested in listening to it over, I don't know if they're going to me, I would love the fact that they could do um like a visual podcast, sort of like kind of what I'm doing now, where you see the people and they're having a conversation. And we see that sometimes when we watch other podcasts, like when I'm usually watching like the Mom channel with what is it? Like if I'm watching like Bob and Monet and their podcast, or if I'm watching Alaska with Willem or things of that nature, and they have like the visual where you can see them having the conversation, I would rather watch it that way than have to listen to it, because that's how we usually watch podcasts and stuff. But I'll listen to it as well if I'm working and putting a show together and all that other stuff. So yeah, they have a teaser and all that good stuff. So if you guys are definitely interested and you are a fan of the show, definitely check that out, because I'm sure it is not going to be something that you or any of us as fans would want to miss. So I'm saying all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you guys excited that we're getting a rewatch of one of the best 90s sitcoms, Living Single, in the form of Reliving Single? So we get to relive the moments and find out some tea that we didn't know about before. So I definitely want to hear from you all. So let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.